What's up, world? This is the Cannonball Podcast. I am your host, Captain Z. With me, and always, we have my lovable teammates, Gingerbeard
Zoinks!
and One-Eyed Josh.
What's up, mateys? Arr!
I was hoping to say. Never mind.
What? Jinkies?
Yeah, I was hoping, but whatever.
Jinkies! There you go.
If you didn't know why we're doing the Scooby-Doo lines, we actually watched the Scooby-Doo movie last night. It's a pretty cool, classic 1980s movie, Scooby-Doo and the Reluctant Werewolf.
Ow! Werewolves of Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's a 1980s film. I think this one is the third film of the 1980s. It starts. I think it starts with Boo Brothers, then Ghoul School. I think it's Reluctant Werewolf.
Yeah.
I think it's Reluctant Werewolf. Either that or Reluctant Werewolf is the first one.
Oh, that was a strange era.
Well, yeah, because what happened? Well, I think it's one of the best eras because you go from the 380s TV movies, and then you go into the 90s with the Scooby-Doo what was it? Alien Invaders?
Alien Invaders, Witches, Ghosts,
19.
And Zombie Island.
and Zombie Island.
Okay, hold on. Let's do. I was gonna show. Zombie Island. And where was what? There he is. Witch's Ghost,
And who can forget the Cyber Chase?
which is the last one of the
Yeah.
90s.
Is it? Yeah. Yeah, I guess it is. Yeah, you're right.
And it's the last one of the 90s. Although the only ones that really have decent music are Witch's Ghost and Zombie
Yeah.
Island.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wait, my hand's in the way. Zombie Island. Those are the only two good ones with music. I mean, Cyber Chase has like an interesting chase song. I would say the worst one of the four is Alien Invaders.
Yeah.
Kind of has like a weird like 1980s kind of
Early 90s.
mixing into the 90s blend.
Yeah.
It's like a weird thing.
It was a strange. Out of all the movies, I think that was, for me, that was the weirdest. Because, like, at the end, like, so it turns out, Shaggy has been going out with an alien.
I still love that.
Yeah, I think like that was fun.
I like her. I like the alien.
Yeah,
And
me too.
I like the dog alien too. I like both. I do. I genuinely do like Alien Invaders. I like all of them. They're all great. 7 of the great classic movies.
That's one of my I have one of my favorite shirts is the Alien Invader shirt. I have some in my house.
Another topic that we're also going to discuss today is the tragedy that is befalling Nickelodeon. Befuddling Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
With the
Quiet
whole
on the
with Quiet on the Set, the documentary about the tragedy or the horrific stories of child filmmaking and child entertainment, along with the horrific and sexual assault case of Drake Bell.
Yeah, I never knew it happened.
Well, that's probably.
I somewhat knew, like, when we were talking about some stuff before Quiet on Set. Like, they were talking about, like, people on all that, talking about...
Yeah, but you didn't know.
No, I didn't know it was Drake Bell. But, like, the thing is, it was heavily implied in another... Before the interview of Drake Bell. Like, you saw a silhouette of him before when they were like, other YouTubers that I watched talked about it. And I'm like, that's Drake Bell. I said it's Drake Bell, but I didn't say, like, it could have been someone else. I didn't know.
Okay.
My guess.
And then we also are going to talk about the Godzilla, King Kong Godzilla movie. What is it called? Is it Godzilla X Kong?
I think
Yes.
I think it's X.
X.
Well, I see
New Empire.
I see X as in, you know, like, to get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't. They're not doing that.
Yeah, they're dudes.
What's wrong with that?
They're manly men.
What's wrong with God damn it, ew. Yeah, also.
Now that we're men.
Can't do anything.
No, I will say this. I will say this. I'm sad for the live action shows. I am happy though that none of the animated shows were trashed in the making of that. None of the animated shows. Then again, most of the animated shows dealt with adults, actors, playing children, so I don't think they'd have a problem.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, well, you read a book about one of the actors on iCarly, right?
Jeanette McCarty?
Yeah, her, yeah.
Jeanette McCarty. Yeah, he's going over to get the book.
Yeah. Oh, yep.
That's fine. We showed off the movie, so I might as well show the book off.
He does have it.
Yes.
Which I'm like,
John McCurdy, I'm glad my mother died.
Yeah, there.
That's
it.
a red flag of a title. I mean,
Well, to be fair, her mother's a bitch.
Yeah.
So, like...
are they all?
Well, not all child actors. I mean, Drake Bell's father wasn't. I mean, I really did...
Ashes.
I'm gonna be honest with you. The part that really hurt when watching that documentary is Drake Bell's dad.
Yeah.
That part hurts because, like, he knew right away that dude was not okay. Like, he just got bad sense. And everyone kept saying, like, well, because he's homophobic, because, like, that's how gay people are. They touchy-feely and all that. It's like, okay, fine. Stop. But he has every right to say, don't touch my son.
Yeah.
My underage son. Stop touching it. You don't need to help him get into his outfits. Nothing like that. You are a dialogue coach. You are not a
Costume set designer.
or his what was it like?
Agent.
Yeah, agent.
Yeah.
Like you are a coach, and that's all you are.
I saw a YouTube video of one of the guys from Zoe 101. The guy who played the bad kid in the group.
Logan.
Yeah, him.
Yeah.
It turns out, well, he was also harassed.
Yeah, by his manager.
right?
Yeah, agent.
Fun fact, that was also a Dan Snyder show too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. One thing I want to say real quick is, we all stand here at the podcast, stand with Drake Bell and his decision to come out. We support him. We love him.
Yeah.
The one thing I will say though, Alexa Nichols, that creator, former Zoe 101 star. I don't like the way she handles stuff on her channel and how she like forgetting with Logan. When Logan came out, you know, he's wherever he said to downplay whatever was going on. He wasn't downplaying shit. If he was downplaying shit, then still, he's coming out with some horrible shit. The least you can do is in your video is to be supportive, and then if you have a problem with what he did later, you can talk to you can talk about it. But like in your own video, don't attack the guy who's just coming out about his horrible stuff. You know.
Yeah, well, the thing is, he came out. A guy, a Zoe guy.
Yeah.
He came out because I heard that some trolls, I guess, have been egging him on to say his side of the story.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, that is not like okay. You shouldn't you shouldn't you shouldn't force a person to tell a story.
Yeah, you can, but you say that now, but you also have to understand in the circumstances with social media is that like these are trolls, but they're also like in a lot of cases they could be robo trolls where they're just
robotic
or just angry
fanboys or girls back in the day or whatever.
Yeah, you know, well, they sent him they told him to kill himself, I guess.
Yep.
And then I'm like, okay.
Yeah, some of your worst trolls are actually your biggest fans.
Yeah.
Which is ironic.
Well,
like the way I've always seen it, and this is like again, this is back to like a Vine, like a joke, but it's true. And the guy's like, first Vine, go kill yourself, and he's like, and he says, why would you say that? He says, oh my God, you answered, I love you, like literally.
So it's all about attention, I guess, you know. So
I also would like to point out as well, when watching the documentary and listening to other podcasts and other YouTube channels, the one area in which I heard about the documentary was on the Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide podcast, in which they did address that they were making fun of it and in a reel. I have seen the reel, and I have seen the podcast, and I will say this as right here. I appreciate that they apologized to Drake Bell.
Mm-hmm.
I do appreciate that. But in their podcast, they said, well, we hadn't watched the series and all that stuff. We didn't know who it was. When you watch that reel, it's eerie how close they got to Drake Bell.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's very eerie. So the part of me is like, okay, if you didn't know it was Drake Bell when you made those jokes, you got really close to him, and he doesn't have to forgive you if he doesn't want to.
He doesn't have to at all.
I don't think he's that kind of person. He doesn't seem like someone that would hold a grudge. But you never know, because he hasn't dealt with those three ever really.
Actually, the fact of the matter is, and this is where I was a little upset at Devin Werkheiser, the guy who played Ned.
Yeah.
Is that Drake Bell took him under his wing when he entered Nickelodeon. Like he showed him the ropes and stuff.
Yeah.
So in a way, when Devin made the joke, whether he realized it was Drake or not, you're bitch slapping your mentor.
That's true.
Oops. Right.
And and I think Drake when he commented on Twitter or X about it, like really, I think it was like even Devin, my protege, is classless in the face of this thing I'm going through.
Also, I will say this too. Also on that podcast, I agree with what Daniel Cookie said, where he brought up the fact that should child acting be a thing anymore, or like he's of the mindset of child actors shouldn't even be at all a thing. He's like, I'm ready to just let that go, because if you can't promise to keep them safe, then what's the point? Because the fact is, it seems like their set that didn't have any of this was a rarity, whereas like other sets did.
I'll be honest. In my opinion, Nickelodeon should just like stick to them cartoons.
Well, the thing is, the reason why that was the case, and it's because Scott Fellows, the guy who created Ned Declassified Big Time Rush, and worked on Very Odd Parents, understood that kids need to be kids. That's why they had breaks. That's why they had fun time and leisure time during their things. That's why they had schoolwork being done. Like they had their own teachers. That's also why if there were moments where like a kid was not feeling great, like about a role, Scott Fellows would come up and like, I noticed you're not feeling good. Are you okay?
But what I was saying on my point, that seems to be a rarity.
Yeah, no, it is definitely a rarity. No,
like
and then Dan Schneider is the majority, where it's okay. You're in the grown-ups world. It's time to put your big boy pants on. And
I also did not.
It's fucked up.
Yeah,
no, I know it is fucked up.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I could care less about episode 1. I'll say that to the cows come. I could care less about episode 1. Episode 1 to me, when they brought those like two women to discuss the Dan Schneider thing, when you're listening to their stories, and they're telling the story, right?
Mm-hmm.
One of the stories was this woman said like she had to basically bend over and like mimic getting, I guess, doggy style like sex
in the ass
for them. And she said, now, she didn't say that Dan threatened to fire her if she didn't do it. Like, that was a thing. To where, like, at some point as an adult, you have to take accountability for your actions, and you have to decide whether your career is more important than your dignity. If you think that embarrassing yourself in front of this fat ass pig is what's going to make your career, then you don't think highly of yourself at all.
You know what? You know what I hate? So Nickelodeon is getting attacked, all because of that we're quiet on the set of the show, and yet how many times has legit McCurdy or like all the actors, well, most of them, are telling stories about Schneider years ago.
The thing is about that, and this is the exact thing, Dan Schneider was Nickelodeon's golden boy. Every show he created, it was print money, it was gold. They had the viewership, they had the ratings. So when you have a golden boy who's pumping out successes, you know, and your two competitors are Cartoon Network and Disney Channel, okay, and you have Dan Schneider who's pumping out golden ticket shows, you're gonna ignore complaints given to you by the work people because at that point you're like, well, if we get rid of Dan,
I'd also like to point out too, but no, first off, but to your point, John, I don't think there was any coming out.
Yeah.
Jeanette McCarthy and a couple others are like a outlier. But they're the outliers that are strong enough to come out. All of this stuff, like those women, like the documentary, I don't think any of those women went to Nickelodeon heads because of fear of being fired or blacklisted or whatever by Dan. So I don't think they came out. And like all the parents that were on set, like you're on set, like the parents have to be there. It's in their it's in the child's contract. The parents have to be on set. This is where like I take it, and I know a lot of people are gonna say like you're gonna be mean. How could you say to the parents? The parents are just as responsible for their children's well-beings and fuck ups that they ended up enduring as the studio is. So I felt no sympathy for any of those parents besides Drake Bell's father. He's the only one that I felt sympathy for. There were a couple parents that were like, okay, the one girl, the one woman, her story was her daughter was just like a background character. I guess one of the director aides sent a dick pic to her daughter.
Yeah, it was 11.
And like the mother saw it, and she didn't call the cops. And because she didn't call the cops, this dude was able to go on and abuse other little girls because you didn't call the cops. I don't feel any sympathy for you. Like you can say you can be like, well, it affected my child. Okay, I feel for that child.
Yeah.
But you had every right to call the cops, and you didn't. Not you. I'm just saying. Yeah.
Oh no, what have I done?
Yeah. But another thing too, like with the women in episode 1, where they're like, you're the cause of the environment. If you want to change the environment, then you gotta stand up for yourself. And you gotta say, like, enough's enough. And you should take full responsibility for those kids being in that situation, just like you're just as culpable as Dan Schneider is.
Like when Dan says the taint thing, the woman shirt says, no, he means it this way, the way you're thinking he means it. Yeah. And just tattle on Dan right there and then.
Well, what taint thing, dude? You can't just say
so there was a running joke, even though it's not funny.
Yeah, it's not.
I mean, as a kid, I thought it was funny when I saw the joke, but I didn't know what it meant. But it's funny. But it's not funny now. It's not funny now. That there was a character called Penelope Taint on the Amanda show that Amanda played.
God damn it!
Really?
I'm sorry. Well, my defense is I never knew her name. To be honest,
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, you didn't really know. Probably with you to remember, this is kind of this is just before our time.
I know.
Yeah.
I was again, and I'll reiterate. I was never a fan of the Amanda Show. More of all that, but I watched a few episodes of the Amanda Show. Anyways, the joke goes that Penelope Taint is like, I forgot how. Shut up.
Oh yeah.
I forgot how it went, but like he meant the word as in the nether region between the butt and the balls.
Bag.
Yeah.
The ball bag.
And when Disney or not Disney executive.
Why are we talking about this?
Because I'm explaining, and when Nickelodeon
TMI, ever heard that?
No, he has to explain it because like not everyone's gonna know what he's talking about.
When the Nickelodeon executive came up and was like, "Isn't this a dirty word?" And he's like, "No,
Kids love this.
It means to like taint something, like it's ruined."
Yeah.
And what the girl should have done is said, "No, he actually means the dirty word.
Yeah.
He's trying to put a dirty word in a kids show."
Well, but how many adult I'll play devil's advocate for a second, but I've watched a lot of cartoons, and a lot of Cartoon Network shows, and a lot of Disney shows, and a lot of Nickelodeon shows. How many times has a joke, when you were a kid and you watched those shows before, would go over your head, but as an adult, when you got older, you were like, well, that was in that show? That sex joke?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think a lot of people realize is that, like, the writers are not just writing for the kids, they're also writing for the parents who are watching the show, too. They're trying to make it a family thing.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of Disney movies do the same thing. Like, lot of Disney Channel.
One of my particular favorites, and I'm sorry if I cut you off.
That's fine.
From the Disney, it was Disney, actually. It was the Aladdin King of Thieves. And it's right when his wedding is crashed, and Genie says, "I thought the Earth wasn't supposed to shake until after the wedding." Yeah, that's a sex joke.
I also like to point out he does the same thing in Aladdin 1.
Yeah.
He says multiple sex jokes in Aladdin 1.
I missed him, I guess.
Well, yeah, but you
It's
were
been a
a
while,
kid. You were a little kid.
So,
They're
like,
flying
I
over
get
the-
what... I'm not trying to say it's okay to do what he's doing.
No, it's not. No. I'm not
Who
saying...
actually will say that?
No, I wasn't saying that. I was playing devil's advocate, saying that other studios also do the same thing with adult humor. They're not like they're not as blatant as Dan.
No, Dan was really blatant.
Yeah. I also felt really bad for those kids on the Scare Factor Nickelodeon show where they had to like literally one kid had to put like a scorpion in his mouth.
Yeah, I would have not. I would have just not.
Wasn't there an episode where a kid was like covered in like
Peanut butter?
Yeah.
And liquid dog. Yeah.
Yeah, licked by a dog.
Yeah, the black kid.
Yeah, and he even said in the video, "I don't like this. It doesn't feel right."
Yeah, they also made him the youngest baby rapper.
Yeah.
Huh.
Which was like, it's one of those things where it's like, but to go back what I was saying too on the reason why I don't like these documentaries is that when you're listening to like both sides of the story, I'm always in the mindset of like, that's great. I feel bad that you were put in that situation. Can you have a little accountability for what you did? And that accountability is you didn't do nothing.
Yeah.
You just let it continue and you let it fester. And I get it. It's hard to stick up for yourself and you're gonna get blackballed and stuff. But if you don't do it, then you allow this to fester, and then more and more people get abused because you stayed quiet. So that's the part where I'm like, they're blaming Dan and they're blaming Dan, but they have every right to blame Dan, but you also have to blame yourself too. And not a lot of them are taking responsibility. A lot of them were like gladly throwing.
Yeah, they're throwing. Again, Dan's a horrible piece of shit. No, that's a given.
Yeah.
But like, and we're not trying to victim blame, but at some point, you're a fucking adult.
Yeah.
Every adult is responsible for their own actions.
Yep.
And indirectly, by not coming forward, you allow those situations for those children to continue.
Yep.
When you could have just said, hey, network execs, Dan's fucking up and he's fucking up bad.
Well, because like with the Drake Bell situation, to go back to what the Drake Bell situation is that like the guy who molested Drake Bell was there for a while and was like there were probably a number of parents who thought eerie of him. That were very eerie of him, not just what Drake Bell's father felt. Like they probably felt the same way. They were just too scared to speak about Drake Bell's dad. Was it? He's like, I'm not letting this guy molest my kid.
Drake Bell's dad is a G. That's all I'm gonna say. He was one.
I really do feel for him, and it hurt. It really does hurt when he starts to cry. And
I know,
like,
bro.
And you're like, man, I feel so bad for him because he really thought he saved his son.
I mean, there's another. I'm going back to the ladies real quick, and from the Amanda show, the two writers. If you notice, that's the only writing they've ever done. It looks like for the series. And I'm not trying to be a dick here, but I do believe in one thing that Dave Chappelle had said, and that is, if you let something, whatever it is, to destroy your dream, okay? You have a brittle spirit, and I dare say you didn't have a dream at all. You let a chauvinistic asshole pig ruin your dream of writing, then where was your dream? Where was your drive?
That's what I said. Like, you clearly didn't think highly of yourself. If you allowed yourself to be humiliated like that, like bending over and acting like a, being, pile drive like in a doggy position, if you're willing to do that, then clearly you don't have a lot of self-respect for yourself. And I understand all the others saying, well, he was the producer. Like, yeah, but it is your call. And at no point in that story did I hear them say he threatened their jobs.
No.
That they had to do it or else their jobs would be threatened. At no point did they say that in their story.
They said they were scared of him, but they never said they was going to threaten their job. He didn't say ever, if you don't do this, you're fired.
Yes. And that's the problem that's the problem that I have with that, where it's like, I feel for you, I really do, that you had to embarrass yourself that way, but at the end of the day...
Well, you could, I mean, you could have just said, well, no.
Or I quit.
Yeah.
Like, I quit.
It's simple. I quit. I will not tolerate your chauvinistic bullshit misogyny anymore. I quit.
Yeah, that's all you had to do.
And I'm reporting you to the Workers Bureau, the Writers Guild, and all this type of stuff.
Okay. And watch Child Protective Services, I guess. But...
Oh, for sure.
Definitely for Child Protective Services. I mean, like, look, he touched a lot of those girls. And I'll be honest with you, the one person who survived it without getting any fuss, and I really do appreciate it, is Jerry Trainer.
Oh, yeah.
iCarly. The fact that, like, and a lot of stories have started to come out, like, he would stay on set, he would make sure that Dan wasn't always touching the kids, he would get in between them, he would literally, like, say, okay, Dan, time for break, let's go, come on, he really did protect his younger cast stars.
Yeah.
So good on him. Like, that's a good, like, those are good characters that were in there.
I mean, Jerry Trainer, there's a famous photo of Jerry Trainer in Dan Schneider's arms. The reason he did that was he had seen that he was getting too close to Carly and Sam, and he ran and was like, take the picture, and jumped into Dan's arms so Dan couldn't touch them.
Yeah.
Smart guy.
There's also another thing, too, that I like to point out. It's like, I'm not saying Dan's a good person, but the fact is that he was the only one to reach out to Drake Bell after his situation, and he was the only one that knew it was Drake Bell and gave his condolences. Whether you say he's a monster or not, that is class act.
That is
a very class act.
As an adult who somewhat cares.
Yeah. But he has like a weird... But his relationship with males is different than females. It seems like he got along with the males more than he did with the females.
He did. Yeah, you think about it. Like, I don't think he ever... touched... any of the... like you said, the boys,
Yeah, he never, he was very much class act. And Drake Bell said, the fact that he's the only one that reached out. No one at Nickelodeon reached out. No one, because no one guessed. It was so weird that no one guessed. It's like, Drake Bell thought everyone would guess him. They thought everyone would guess him, and no one guessed him. Like, no one knew it was Drake Bell was the one that was molested until now.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
And like, I'm not saying like, but I'm like the fact that that guy was that close to Drake Bell and no one guessed.
I think one of the bigger red flags about Brian Peck was the fact that he had signed autographs and letters from John Wayne Gacy,
John Wayne
and
Gacy.
a signed self-portrait of him as Pogo the Clown.
Yeah, that was
a red flag.
That was a huge red flag.
And again, I respect people talking about this, but like again, referencing Alexa Nicole, and her channel. When she talked about that, she like I'm saying like she like, oh, he was like one of the like, bro, like at some point I'm like, you need to do research on what he did to the county of Cook County, Illinois, where I'm originally from in Illinois, you know, that area. Like he like from 1971 to 1979, the entire Cook County was fucking terrified because like children from the ages of 15 to 19 were going missing, like at least 3 times, maybe a month, 3 different times a month.
Also, I would very like to read. There is a part of me, and it's not sick twisted, but there's a part of me is I would like to read those letters, because there's a part of me that thinks, because they were pen pals for a long time. I would venture to guess that there's a lot revealed in those letters that Brian Peck revealed about himself, like his wants and desires for for children, and was seeking advice from someone that possibly understood him, like John Wayne Gacy. That being said, I mean,
I don't think John Wayne Gacy.
No, I'm just saying.
Yeah, I know.
But the fact that he had those letters, there is a possibility that that's what he was doing.
It's like you're walking into a guy's house who, gets a murderous vibe from you. You get it from, and then you find out he talked to Ted Bundy on a regular basis.
But what pisses me off is that this is what pisses me off is that Disney hired him after he served his time.
Yeah. Well, didn't he work on Zach and
Sweet Life of Zack and Cody? Yes, he worked on Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. Now, here's the interesting part. From what I noticed, he only worked with the girls. He was not allowed to work with the boys, the 2 boys.
Dropped protection, where they were protecting the male children.
They were protecting the 2 boys, and from what I heard, the mother character and Irwin, were very protective of
Cole and Dylan.
I don't know how true that is. That's what the rumors are. They were very protective of those 2 boys. And the fact is, he was never on the set when they were on the set. He was always with either Ashley Tisdale or Brendan Song.
Yeah.
Or the other adult, actors. Which tells me that like Disney was like, yeah, we understand you serve your time,
but we're not giving you the chance.
Yeah, we're not letting you anywhere near these 2 boys.
Well, something I heard about. It's from Elijah Woods. Lord of the Rings, or according to him, Hollywood has a huge I can't even say the word.
Pedo problem.
Yeah.
I mean, it always has had a huge pedo problem.
Yeah, and yet is Quiet on the Set like a start of a new era?
No.
No,
it's not. It will never be. You wanna know why? This is why, and this is actually why. You got all those rich fucks in one area. Rich people do some weird shit, like crazy weird shit, like sometimes cultist shit. that like when it comes out, like everyone in the world is like, holy shit, I can't believe they were part of that, you know, blah blah blah, all this stuff, this nasty sex thing and whatever.
Scandal.
Yeah, all these scandals. It's like, yeah, when you have a bunch of rich douchebags with all the money in the world, and they're so closed off from the rest of society, and they're left to their own fucked up minds and devices, of course they're gonna do what the fuck they want. And they think that they can get away with it because they have all that, you know, moolah.
Well, I mean,
They can just pay off their victims, you know.
Or they can, and that's what's going on with the whole Skull and Bones thing going on with that boxer dude or whatever.
Yeah.
And again, he might have saw what he saw, and he might have not. I don't know. But all I'm gonna say is the people who did it. There's not a judge in this country that could convict them. People who are in the Skull and Bones Society. They are from the 1% of the 1%, and there's nothing, I repeat, nothing that could be charged. It's not, it wouldn't be like going...
that's not entirely true.
No, you could if it was like a Supreme Court situation.
Well, no, I meant federal.
Well, yeah, federal, I mean...
Federal could get them pretty good. I mean,
Yeah.
if you're talking about, like, county or, like, you know, city judge, then
Yeah.
Federal, like, you can't get if the FBI wants you...
You're screwed.
You're fucked. That's what I meant by federal. If federal wants you, you're fucked. So like, and that's the sad part about it.
FBI, open up.
Well, but a lot of these rich bastards, that's who takes them down is the FBI. The FBI takes them down, and they have they've watched them for years building their cases, like stone cold. So it's one of those things where it's like they think they're invincible, but you know. If you do, you catch the eye of the FBI,
You're going down.
Now that invincibility, like, gets taken out from under you. All right, so let's move on from that. To move into this.
This is an
interesting topic.
a very special episode.
It was a very one. All right, so Godzilla X Kong, or Godzilla Heart Kong.
It may as well be.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like.
Our grades is this. For me and Josh, One Eye.
I never saw it.
Ginger Bear did not see it last night. Unfortunately, he had to work.
I have a life.
We all have lives. Just your life sucks because it happened to be that night.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you're right about that.
Yeah. So our grades are 7. Now
7.5.
7 and 7.5.
0.
Well, all right. Whatever. Yeah. No. So I like to point out I don't really grade kaiju monster movies high. Like it's they're monster movies. They're fun. They're supposed to be fun.
Yeah.
I will say this as someone who watched the movie, and One Eye Josh can relate. We were having a talk about Godzilla was just awful. I mean, he was rough as hell.
There were moments where you clearly could tell it's CGI.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and we got into this little talk. It's like it's that one thing where it's like, is the fact that Kong has hair the reason why he looks more real than Godzilla? And I said yes, and you said yes. It's because it adds more texture.
Also, Kong has scars on him that pop out on the screen.
I know, but it makes it more he's more real.
And you would think, we saw it in IMAX, so you would think with a bigger screen, it would make Godzilla more popping out.
Oh god,
Yeah,
it
didn't.
Worse.
It worked worse.
And look, dude, the first Godzilla fight is when he fights this crab-looking thing, and both of them look fake as hell.
Oh yeah,
they look so bad. It's not even. And I was sitting there like this. I was like, all right, let's go. This looks bad. I don't want to see it.
Hurry up.
Then we got to King Kong, which I will say, King Kong looked real, but there were times he looked CGI too. He did look real though, and I was like, okay, fine. We got to the part that I'm excited for, the part that kind of looks real.
Mm-hmm.
Like it kind of looks real. Even Kong Jr. looked kind of real. So I was like, yay.
Yay.
Yeah, great. I will say this. Any kaiju movie, I don't like the humans. There are very few humans I like. In this movie, I like the black guy, the podcaster, that dude, and the vet.
Who you clearly said was me. It was the black guy podcaster. He's like, that's. He just looked at me and he's like,
that's you.
That is what he did. When the guy came up, he was like, and I'm like, what? And I'm like, that's you. And he was like, that's you. And you sat back in your seat. And I was like, okay.
You're black.
And I'm like, what?
Well, it's not that. It's the way he acts and stuff.
Yeah.
But I like the vet guy. The vet guy had some good music. Like, I think you'd like the music.
Yeah.
He came out. He fixed Kong's tooth. He fixed his hand. Kong
cool.
got bad frostbite in a scene. Yeah, those are the only humans I like. I didn't like the death girl.
I didn't mind the daughter.
Oh.
I didn't mind her. I thought she was a fine actress. I
Yeah.
thought she did well. I don't. It's that thing where it's like, I guess it's a common thing in kaiju monster movies where they have to have like the child character who is a symbol for the goodness of humanity, and they're the one thing that brings back the monsters to life, or to make them protect humanity. She brings Mothra back to life, and when they said, "Oh yeah, she's responsible for Mothra," I just sat back. It's like,
Really?
fuck this so hard.
So was she destroyed? Was she destroyed a part of the world?
No, she brought Mothra back.
Yeah.
Yeah, she helped Mothra come back to life.
See, Mothra actually, I'm going to say this now, Mothra is probably my third favorite kaiju in the Godzilla series. But I'm glad they brought her back, and the way that she was the way that the team up was done, I'll give this. Even though Godzilla's was wonky as all hell, the teamwork that they displayed between Godzilla and Kong was really good. I actually enjoyed that. It was, especially the scene where Scar, the fucking bad guy for.
Oh no, he's not new.
He's not the new bad guy.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
but he's not new.
Yeah.
He's called the Scar King. He's the he leads Kong's race of people.
Yeah.
He's the whatever. He doesn't like humans.
Yeah.
Basically what I took from him. He wants to rule the upper world from Hollow Earth. He
Yeah.
wants to be where Godzilla is. The fights were great. The CGI fights were okay. I really did think it was fun. Godzilla takes over the Roman Colosseum. It becomes his bed.
Yeah.
It's like they're like, well, they should thank Godzilla for saving their lives, and he's allowed to do whatever he wants. He's like, I'm taking over.
Yeah, no,
This is my
moment,
bed.
yeah, I just like that moment because they're like, ma'am, we have the Italian army on the phone. They're complaining about Godzilla. Tell the Italian army, without Godzilla, they would have been a pile of rubble by.
No, then Godzilla goes on a murderous rampage to get more stronger.
Yeah. He fucking
he levels up like Goku.
Yeah, he destroys. He just fucking bodies another kaiju.
Just to get to its
power nest.
Yeah, its power surge to get stronger.
And basically becomes supernova neutron blast.
Oh, if I had to say this, so John can understand. Godzilla is basically Vegeta getting stronger, while Kong is like Goku, who bodies pretty much everyone he meets, and then gets beaten up by a tag team that he didn't even see coming.
I mean, but then even then with the power up of Vegeta,
yeah.
If it wasn't for Mothra, if it wasn't for Mothra, if it wasn't for Mothra and then coming into that exact moment, Kong would have been done because he has his foot on Kong.
Goku Kong.
Yeah, Goku Kong would have been done. Yeah, because he has his foot on Kong's throat, and it's like, and he's about to do a neutron blast to the fucking face.
Kamehameha Neutron!
I figured you'd enjoy us comparing them to Dragon Ball Z.
I'm a huge
Dragon Ball Z fan.
Well, there's a name for guys like me, I just don't know it.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. To be fair, like, what would you say Scar's equivalent to Dragon Ball Z? Because he's like
Frieza.
I don't think he's Frieza. I really don't think he's Frieza.
Cell?
No, because he's an
Broly.
orangutan with long arms.
Broly.
There you go, Broly.
Yeah, Broly.
Yeah.
There you go.
But the evil one.
Yeah.
Not the new one.
And then the other one is just like a bit like the other kaiju is basically being controlled by Broly, Scar.
Yeah.
It's basically his bitch.
Yeah.
Which I felt bad at times. I was like, I kind of feel bad for there is one because she does not deserve what she's getting.
Also, she's the godmother of kaiju, so she's like
Godzilla's mama.
Yeah, in a way.
Well, so Momzilla.
Mama Zilla.
And she has ice attacks. And I looked at him at one point and I just said, wow, that's a real ice beam right there.
Pokemon.
Get it?
You're right about that. I mean, you can tell.
Kaiju Ice Monster, I choose
You! Ice beam.
And I just like, whoa!
At this point, they should be Pokemon because the little girl activates Mothra, which is like
A Pokeball.
yeah, no, it's what was it? What's that Pokemon in the first series?
Caterpie?
No.
Butterfree.
Butterfree. I choose
you. Don't disrespect Butterfree. I love Butterfree though.
That should be a meme, you know, like.
I love
that's what Mothra is.
Yeah, it's a giant butterfly. No.
I'm like, how the hell are we going to catch that?
And Mothra, well, I gotta say, the teamwork was superior. King Kong and Godzilla were taking down the Scar and Mamazilla, while Mothra is stopping other apes from getting to the portal.
And Baby Kong
Yeah.
is stopping other apes too.
Yeah.
My favorite scene with Baby Kong is he's taking Godzilla's axe and he's having a hard time breathing, and then he does the move that we all you know the hammer game that we play at the amusement park. He does
Ding 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 ding.
winner.
Ow!
Anyways, and then there's a scene. All right, I think we'll just wrap it up because I'm not gonna continue.
Yeah, should we end the video here?
No, we're not gonna end it. Yeah, we're gonna end the video. Oh,
yeah.
but we're gonna stop. Our recommendation for Godzilla. It's not a complicated movie. If you like kaiju giant monster fights, you'll like this movie. There.
I mean, the one other thing I like to say about it is there was a moment in the scene theater when the monsters go into the real world and we're like, poor Rio.
Oh yeah, they attack Rio de Janeiro.
They destroy Rio.
Ow.
It's like 4 monsters hitting Rio de Janeiro at once. You're just kind of like, what the fuck? Why Brazil?
Why do you do this to Brazil? What do they do?
Well, they had it coming.
Yeah. Rio had it coming. They know what they did. They know what they did.
Yeah.
Anyway, before you end this, I want to look to my opinion about like movies that are like involve with debates.
Yeah.
Like I'm not really a fan of that because I watch movies for story or not sports or anything like.
You mean being preached to like political stuff, right?
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about? Like political preachy stuff?
That was me. Sorry.
No, it's fine.
No, I mean, what's like? No, I mean, like enjoy the story, like
Well, yeah, I mean, because what I was saying with like the Godzilla thing is that like this is not a movie that like is gonna like be groundbreaking story wise. I mean, if you like giant monster fights, then this is the movie for you. Like, it'll kill 2 hours for you. That's why I said like it's a 7, even though Godzilla is rough as fuck.
Well, I'm saying movies should not like the main idea of a movie should never be about who wins the fight. It should be about who solves the problem, you know?
Well, yeah, like it's. I guess so. I mean, like there really wasn't.
Batman and Superman.
Well, Batman v Superman was like that.
Batman won.
I mean, Batman and Batman in the movie won. In the comic book, Superman kind of beat him.
In which fight?
Name a comic book, dude.
That's what I'm talking about. Like
Batman.
But the whole reason why the versus is there is because fanboys like to have these little debates.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Yeah, I think
like you might not like it. You can say it's stupid.
I don't like it in an official like medium, like in a movie. If you do, that's fine. I don't.
Well, fine. That you're an audience member who doesn't like that, but you're in the minority. Most audience members actually like versus.
I know.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Is that you're in the minority, whereas like, and I'm not saying that I like versus either. I'm just saying that like, it's more fun to debate. I mean, for God's sakes, when you talk about Godzilla versus Kong. Half the entire audience was like pumped because you got to see a monster fight between two things that never fought each other really in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Godzilla and King Kong. They've never fought in a long time. So you got to see that. And, I don't think they kind of made Godzilla the superior one. It kind of was unfair because if in a movie like that, first round should have went to King Kong. The second round should have gone to Godzilla, and then they tag team against Mecha Godzilla. That's how it should have been. So both audiences were equally favored.
Yeah.
In that movie, Godzilla bitch slaps Kong, then bitch slaps him again, and then he puts his shoulder back into place, and they're like, I guess we're tag teaming.
Yeah.
It's a little, it's a little awkward. All right, I think. Oh, and on this episode's gonna have the links to the podcast, to his Instagram, where the podcast is also gonna be. So please watch the video, get a listen to the podcast, watch some other stuff. You'll like it.
We will be linking the last episode we filmed.
Yeah.
In the comments in the description below.
Yeah. Just give it a shot, please.
Or else.
No, we're not there. We give it a shot, please. We really would appreciate it, and you guys are going to enjoy it. And this part of the video is